There's a question I think many of us ask quietly, not always to anyone else, but it's there. Sometimes in the middle of a spiral, sometimes after another fight, sometimes right in the middle of a good thing we're pulling away from. Why am I like this? Not in shame, necessarily, but in that aching curiosity. Why do I react like that? Why do I want things I'm afraid of? Why do I run from closeness or chase what hurts? This week I'm built to bear. We're stepping into that tangle, the knots we carry, the contradiction of being human, the parts of ourselves that seem to pull in opposite directions. We're not here to untie every knot, just notice them without flinching. And maybe, in that noticing, some clarity begins to give. One of the most human experiences in the world is wanting two things that don't quite fit together. We want to be close, deeply known, but we're scared of what someone might find if they really get there. So we guard our hearts while still hoping someone reaches in. We want change, growth, evolution. But change means discomfort, the unfamiliar, the letting go. So we stall in old habits, even while dreaming of new beginnings. We want to rest, but also feel guilty when we stop moving. It's not weakness, it's wiring. And often, it's survival learned early. Conflicting desires don't make you broken, they mean you're layered. Your need for love and your fear of abandonment can both be true, but your dreams and your hesitations can coexist. There's no simple fix to emotional contradiction, but naming it is a form of clarity, and clarity invites compassion. Let's talk about self sabotage. Most people think it looks like laziness, recklessness, or apathy, but often it's none of those things. Sabotage is usually a symptom of fear dressed up as logic. You get the job interview and suddenly talk yourself out of going. You're loved and you start picking fights. You're close to finishing something important and then ghosted entirely. Why? Because somewhere deep down, there's a voice whispering, what if I'm not enough for this? What if I lose it once I get it? What if they leave once they see the real me? So instead of being rejected later, we sometimes try to control the crash by crashing first. It's protective, not pathetic, but it's also painful because it keeps us trapped in cycles we secretly want out of. If that's been you, know this. What looks like self destruction is often self protection in disguise. You're not a mess, you're a map of everything you've been through and every strategy that once kept you safe. There's a frustrating truth about growth. You can know better and still fall back into old patterns. You can understand your triggers, unpack your trauma, go to therapy, read all the books, and still text that person you know isn't good for you. Still shut down when you promised you'd communicate. Still scroll for 3 hours when you meant to write that song or that plan. That's not failure, that's reality. Knowing is a step, undoing takes longer. You've been rehearsing those patterns for years. They've lived in your nervous system longer than your breakthroughs have. So slipping back isn't proof you're fake or hopeless. It's proof you're human. Progress isn't linear, it loops. Sometimes you revisit a version of yourself just to love them better this time. So if you're feeling discouraged, you're not back at square one. You're just passing through an old exit on a much bigger road. Let's end here. with the truth that started this whole theme. You are not your chaos. You are not the contradiction. You are not the knot. You are the one carrying it, the one becoming aware of it, the one learning to loosen it thread by thread. It's not your fault you were wired to protect yourself in complicated ways, but it is your power to meet those parts with softness. Even if you never fully untangle it all, you are still worthy of love, connection, and peace. Right here, as is. There's a question we asked at the start: why am I like this? Sometimes the answer isn't a clear sentence. Sometimes it's just this: because life was hard, and I found a way to make it through. That alone is enough reason to honor the path you've walked, and still keep choosing what comes next. Some questions sit like knots in the chest. They don't tighten all at once, they form slowly, pulled by years of trying to be okay. If your mind ever feels like a hallway full of doors, and you're not sure which one to open, give yourself time. Not to judge the mess, just to breathe into it. You are not alone in feeling lost, but you are strong enough to hold your own thread. Until next time, walk gently, and remember, you are not what hurts you, you are what's healing. I'm Bear, and thank you for tuning in.